Hi friends, how are you? Not sure if you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. Guess what? The garden has changed. So we have discovered, as you've already noticed as well, the garden, it's in rough shape, but it's still better than last year. But we've also discovered that the legs in the back, we're having a hard time when it comes to actually getting in there and taking care of it properly. So you also know that we're trying to get that wall down in the barn, and we're doing that piece by piece, which means we have a lot of this fabulous barn board. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, oh my gosh, take the boards down, sell it, decorate with it. Sorry guys, I'm not into rustic farm chic in my house. And to be absolutely honest, I've got a barn with wood that's usable. So raised garden beds it is. So we've gone through, we found quite a few that are the right width. And the way she'll work is I've got this old door. Now I use this old door as my workbench here in our terribly messy garage. And the size of this door is basically the size that I want the garden beds. So we're gonna make one. I've already got the first part cut because I wanted to make sure I had the right sizes. We're gonna make one and we're gonna see how it comes out, and then you'll have to let me know what you think when you see the final result. But time to cut the next one down, and yeah. So I've already measured it. So we're sticking to 76 inches wide, or long, I guess. And then the width will basically be the width of this door. Now I didn't actually measure that piece, but that's okay. All right, time to cut that piece. Just so you know, safety first. Do not get in the way of a woman with her tools. Take your gloves off when you're using the saw. Remember that. All righty, guys. Let's cut this one down. So the end pieces are going to be this height. So we do need to trim some of these too, but we have 2 more long ones to cut. We'll trim all these down. Then I'll show you how the rest of this is actually going to go together. It has been a real long time since I have actually built anything, and I seriously felt like an absolute idiot trying to put this thing together. Now I did used to do so much stuff in the past, but it's a good thing that I do remember a lot of the safety things, like remembering to take your gloves off before you use the saw. Now, we've had some terrible reminders of that recently, and I apologize for bringing up the memory. You know who you are. But anyway, like I was saying, the raised beds, it is something we've thought about for a while. And these ones are taller than what you would normally get. There are some good galvanized ones that I think I have shared before. I think I shared the link with you before. And once I find it, I'll share it again. But, I mean, it did take me a little while to cut it. And to be honest, that old barn board, it's been in that barn probably about 50, 60 years, and it is hard to cut. But here's hoping it doesn't rot too fast either. So anyway, like I said, I did get them all cut, and getting them together, well, you'll see. Putting them together is a little tricky, especially when you're trying to do this by yourself. So anyway, to get back to the point, wood has been cut. Let's continue on with the next little piece of this adventure. So now we're going to use that piece to measure the other 3. And then we'll start putting this together and see if, my brain is working the way I can see it in my head. If you're part of my family, you know that it's probably not. If you're not part of the family, you'll learn. To be honest, putting the first part of it together did turn out to be a little bit easier than I thought, because of course you can use 2x4 to support 2x4 and nailing all together. In hindsight, I should have used screws. The nails, I just thought it would be a little bit easier on my own, but Longer nails, wouldn't have been able to get them in there. Shorter nails, like I did use, it held, but it was the wobbly, well, that's a word that didn't quite work. It was a lot wobblier, there we go, than I actually thought it was going to turn out to be. Now, one thing I also did find out that if you do build one and it's the size of the door, you'll notice I have to constantly try and hold the thing onto that door. Great size though, but the next ones might just be a little bit smaller. Right about here is where I figured out that I can actually put this thing together without having Fred hold on to it. Every time I hammered, it would just slide right off of that stupid door. But thank goodness he was there. He was the one that also clued in and to tell me that I really needed some strapping or I should have used the screws, because as he and you guys will all probably learn, I am just that little bit stubborn and have to try it my way first, of course. Well, as you can tell, Fred did get me going to the point where I could actually just keep going without getting seriously frustrated. That is one of the things, as I think you've probably noticed, is that frustration happens. And when I get frustrated, sometimes I just say, forget it, and toss it out the window. In this case, it had become a mission at this point, and as you can see, that's right about where it fell off of the door, and yeah, I got a little bit mad. Hence the reason why I decided to speed all this up and just show you everything. And well, I did take out all the audio, and now you have to listen to me talk, because trust me, you really didn't want to hear me, right? And every single time that garden bed slipped off of that door. So, hey, this is all PG-13. We have to keep it nice. Now, it was, like I said, a little bit tricky getting those nails in. And after I did get those last two end planks on, I kind of realized that I cut that top one the wrong size. Fred did fix that for me later on, which was kind of handy. And I was really, really happy that he actually fixed that. Yeah, I honestly don't even remember what I was telling you in that little bit. But just so you know, we have the two 2x4s that are actually cut to height. The second two 2x4s are twice that. The reason being is that when I actually go in and use it, I can put trellising there for peas. I can do some shorter bush beans, or shorter pole beans. I can even actually put some heavier wire across there so we can trellis the tomatoes. There's a reason for that higher one, and it seriously took me about 10 minutes to explain to poor Fred why I needed longer 2x4s. Now, I did buy 2x3s for the next 4 that we're going to build. They're not all going to go in at once, so as the beds kind of empty out, we're just going to go ahead and put them in. But yeah, that's about as far as I got before I realized that I really needed the strapping and we needed to put some screws and things in it. But I'm actually really, really happy, and I just can't wait till I actually put something, well, in the thing. Let's grow some stuff. So, as you noticed, that first raised garden bed was put on a bit of a standstill. We don't go into town all the time, so we had to wait and go in and get the strapping for the corners, because I thought I had some and apparently I was wrong. So what we did is we attached that last board and we got the strapping on, and I think this might work out. What do you think? So the whole plan is, because as we've talked about, I am having a hard time when it comes to bending and kneeling. And they may seem tall for somebody, but there are raised garden beds that you can get that are like 36 to 40 inches tall. This one works out to be about 22 to 24. I measured it now, I don't remember. Now, you're probably thinking, what about these things? See right here? we've got 2 long poles and 2 short poles. So the whole idea is if peas are going to go into this bed, they'll go along the one side and we'll just attach the chicken wire and that's something to climb on. If I put the shorter indeterminate tomatoes, I can also put grate or some wire there. It gives them, and I can trellis them, anything like that. Some of the beds will not have the extra posts, but some of them will. Kind of really depends. And if I got this sorted out right, this is what we call the little garden. We have the little garden, the upper garden, and way down there, the bottom garden. So if I've sorted this out right, there'll actually be 9 of these with a fair amount of space. And we've put the blackout fabric between the garden and the rhubarb patch. That'll all get covered in mulch. So, being our 2nd year with a fair-sized garden, it definitely looks better than last year. We've had some struggles this year. It's been a cool spring. So the corn, not a lot of corn came up. The carrots, they're fighting. But garden bed number 1, done. So we have enough lumber now. I got enough to do 4 more for now. And then over the winter, and then as things start to get yanked out of the ground, we'll put some more in. Well, that's Tammy's construction video for the day. Anyway, so hope you enjoyed watching me be foolish in my garage. It's been a little while since I've built anything. It'll be good for the upper body strength. So, anyway, thanks for coming out, guys. Join us next time as we do our Simpler Life on PEI, and hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Come along with us, okay? Bye for now.